Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A busy morning for Raleigh police. Officers are investigating two separate shootings right now. What we know so far about the shootings that happened within hours of each other.
And a chance for rain late this afternoon into this evening. Today stays mostly dry, but by tomorrow we turn much wetter. I'll show you the changing pattern.
Today we'll get the next steps in the plans for major redevelopment around the home of the Carolina Hurricanes. Moves happening today to get the ball rolling on the billion-dollar entertainment district around what's now known as the Lenovo Center. So there's downtown Raleigh, midtown Raleigh, all those entertainment districts. They want to make one in West Raleigh around the home of the Carolina Hurricanes. A lot to tell you about on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your Monday here as we get things started. You know, first day of fall, first full day of fall, but I don't think we're going to be able to fall for it when you talk about what the temperature is going to be like. Elizabeth, we're still hanging on to summer.
We are. And we're going to see that all week long, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what you like. I mean, I love holding on to summer, but we're also going to hold on to a good bit of rain. We're going to take a look at downtown Raleigh right now. We look down toward Memorial Auditorium. It's cloudy, but it is dry here as we take a look at our Jimmy V camera. Temperature 69, our dew point 65, so it's a little on the warm and muggy side. You're going to wake up to some cloud cover in places. It'll be variably cloudy today, meaning we'll have some cloudy periods and some sunny periods as well. We should stay dry all the way through the evening commute, and then during the late evening, overnight, we may see some showers roll in, and tomorrow morning may be fairly wet for the morning commute. We'll see highs in the low 80s for this afternoon, but again, through the afternoon, we should stay on the dry side. We're watching very closely for a tropical system to develop down here in the Caribbean and potentially make landfall as we head closer to the weekend here in Florida. The big question is, does it go west and away from us, or is it going to bring us some rain? We'll take a look at some of the scenarios and look at where we now stand in terms of the wettest year. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:01, we just got reports of Raleigh police working a crash this morning on South Saunders Street near Carolina Pines Avenue. We're not seeing any delays in that area, but if you live in that area, just wanted you to know that it's happening. Just keep an eye on it for you and let you know if it's going to affect you at all. We were seeing, and we continue to see, a little bit of a slowdown there on those southbound lanes of I-87 between North Rogers Lane and New Hope Road. Nothing that's going to make you need to get an alternate route, but just keep in mind, you'll probably be slowed down for about a couple minutes. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know if it continues to affect your morning commute. Also around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the other major roads are delay-free at this hour.
Breaking news, Raleigh police are investigating two separate shootings this morning. We have team coverage of these active investigations this morning. We start with WRAL's Laura Levine at the Walnut Ridge apartment complex in southeast Raleigh. Laura, we know someone was seriously hurt there this morning.
Jeff, and at this time, 6 a.m., neighbors are beginning to wake up and ask questions about what exactly happened here overnight. Someone just stopped me. She was taking her daughter to school, and she said she saw a vehicle with the windows shot out. But from our vantage point, this is what we're looking at. You can see several RPD vehicles still on the scene, some crime scene tape blocking this area of the parking lot. We're continuing to see investigators kind of canvass the parking lot in this particular building as well. Now, we do know from Broadcastify radio traffic that investigators were looking at a white Cadillac in connection to a possible suspect. I want you to take a listen to that radio traffic where EMS responded again just before 2 o'clock this morning.
On 15 headed to the shooting. You got two possible suspect vehicles, a white Cadillac and a dark vehicle. I'm not sure where they're at. You have one patient not breathing.
And that man was rushed to the hospital after this shooting. He has serious injuries at this time. We are working to learn more information about what led up to the shooting. Police still searching for a suspect. Anyone with information is asked to call RPD. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We go now to WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live from the Raleigh Police Station. And Kelsey, police also responded to a shooting over on Bertie Drive. That was around 3:30 this morning, an hour after the shooting that Laura is covering.
Renee, exactly. Investigators are here at the Raleigh Police Department working to piece together what happened there. We'll take you to video now from around 4 o'clock this morning so you can see that active scene there on Bertie Drive. A man was shot and taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Crime scene tape surrounded a grass area near a roundabout on the street. Multiple police cars were in the area. CCBI was also there investigating. We've reached out to Raleigh Police to learn more about the search for the shooter. We're also asking police if they know anything about what led up to the shooting. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
More breaking news. We're working to learn more about what caused a vehicle to crash into a building in Durham early this morning. Police responded to Junction Road near Mansfield Avenue around 1 a.m. They say the building has structural damage from the crash. No word on whether anyone was hurt in the crash or what led up to it.
New this morning, we have learned the name of a man who was shot and killed on Edge Hill Road in Fayetteville. Police say 18-year-old A.J. Whidbey died in the shooting just before 11 Saturday night. Another man who was also shot was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as police investigated at a home as well as in front of a nearby shopping center on Skyboat Road. Investigators are still working to find the shooter.
Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will be back in North Carolina today. He plans to speak at the Dale Halton Theater in Charlotte at 5 p.m. This comes just 5 days after he was here in Raleigh for an event. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump was also in our state recently. He hosted a rally in Wilmington on Saturday. WRAL will cover all the candidates' visits to North Carolina now through Election Day. Tonight, former President Trump will host a rally in Western Pennsylvania. Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz will be in New York City for campaign receptions. And Vice President Kamala Harris does not have any public events planned.
Several top staffers and fundraisers for Republican candidate for Governor Mark Robinson have quit. Robinson spokesman Mike Lonergan announced the sitting lieutenant governor's campaign manager and deputy campaign manager stepped down from those roles. So did his campaign's senior advisor and finance director. Robinson is facing increased pressure and skepticism from members of his own party after a recent report by CNN. The report says he made lewd, racist, and pro-Hitler comments on a pornographic website's messaging board. Robinson has denied what's in the report.
Today, we'll get an update on the state's absentee ballots. State Board of Elections Chair Karen Brinson Bell plans to address questions at 10:30 this morning. Counties already sent ballots to eligible military and overseas voters Friday. Absentee ballots for everyone else who requested one will go out starting tomorrow. That process was delayed because of a court ruling requiring Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be removed from the ballots.
Part of Hillsborough Street is back open this morning after being closed over the weekend as crews demolished the old I-440 eastbound bridge. The road reopened this morning a little over an hour ago at 5 a.m. after closing Friday night. Raleigh police say a man was shot several times near Capitol Boulevard. It happened at a hotel on Brentwood Road around 7:30 yesterday morning. Police say they have a possible suspect in custody. We're working to learn more about both the victim and the suspect.
Time is 6:07. I'm Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Kind of an exciting time, right, in the space race that we've got. I guess the second one that's been happening right now between different countries. But obviously, this is a collaborative one as the Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft has undocked and is on its way back to Earth. There you see the different astronauts who are aboard the International Space Station as that spacecraft is headed back towards Kazakhstan. That's where the landing pad is. This is a recording that you're seeing here on this screen from, about maybe an hour or so ago after the docking happened. Aboard the vessel are NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson and Russian cosmonauts Nikolai Chubb and Oleg Konenko. They will be, again, hitting that landing station in Kazakhstan around 8 o'clock this morning. And some may be wondering about the other astronauts who are still stuck on the International Space Station, Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore. They are slated to still stay there until sometime in February.
Chris, thanks. Morning commuters to Fort Liberty will have delays because of reduced access at the All-American Access Control Point. The Post says there was a traffic incident at the gate last night. It says it involves someone who is not affiliated with the Department of Defense. We are working to learn more about the nature of what happened and whether there is any damage to the gate.
North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh plans to reopen Wednesday. It closed over the weekend after a social media threat. Authorities first evacuated the museum and surrounding park Saturday so law enforcement could search the area. Investigators determined there was no immediate threat, but the museum stayed closed yesterday as a precaution. The museum is regularly closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Today, we'll get an update on efforts to combat the opioid epidemic in Wake County. The County Board of Commissioners Public Safety Committee will examine the use of naloxone by EMS, as well as other county programs and treatment methods. Their meeting gets started at 12:30 this afternoon.
A Fayetteville family is trying to inspire others in the fight against violence in their city. How a passion for drumming is making a difference.
And today looks like it could be the driest day this week. We're looking at a cold front coming in and then possibly a tropical system. I'll show you how much rain we could total up by the weekend.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, we're waking up to cloudy skies this morning, and it feels a little like summer. 69 in Durham and Raleigh. It's 70 in Fayetteville this morning. And here, as we look from Dix Park to downtown, you can see the gray skies here. So that's what we're going to wake up to this morning. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine on and off. And as gray as it is, we're still not likely to see much rain. So heading out the door this morning, you don't necessarily need to grab the raincoat or umbrella, but have it on standby for tomorrow, because tomorrow morning we may wake up to some rainy conditions. School day forecast looks mainly dry, partly cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high of 81, but it does stay on the muggy side. What we're watching is two things. One, a cold front that moves in tomorrow to bring us a better chance for rain, and then potentially a tropical system that could bring us some showers by the weekend. We'll walk through both of those coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to monitor a crash on South Saunders Street this morning near Carolina Pines Avenue. We're not seeing any major delays in the area, so which is a good thing. We just want you to know about it, just in case you have to navigate that area. So near Lake Wheeler Road. Those slowdowns that we just reported about 10 minutes ago on those southbound lanes of I-87 completely cleared up right now, and elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major routes are delay-free at this hour.
A Fayetteville family is mourning after a deadly shooting at a hookah lounge. WRAL spoke with a family who went through a similar tragedy and is now working to inspire others to make a difference. Fayetteville police say Elijah Wyand was shot and killed early Saturday morning at the Anubis Lounge on Ramsey Street. Another man was also hurt. The shooting hits close to home for the family of Antoine Hoskins. He was shot and killed at another hookah lounge in Fayetteville 2022. His family started the Drums Up, Guns Down organization in his memory. It gives drumsticks to kids and teaches them how to play to try to keep them away from violence.
We'll mail them out to them, drop them off to them. Doesn't matter, as long as they get a pair of drumsticks in their hands. And these kids are absolutely loving it.
The group will have an event in October, and if you'd like to learn more, you can log on to WRAL.com. Police in New York are preparing for protests at the UN General Assembly. It gets started tomorrow. Police say they will use drones, canine units, and traffic checkpoints to increase security around the UN. NYPD says it's been handling about a dozen protests a day since the Israel-Hamas war. It says it will not allow any protests at the UN to become destructive. Police say there are no credible threats to this week's gathering.
Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign says her most recent fundraiser was her most lucrative yet. A spokesperson says the event yesterday in New York City brought in $27 million. She flew back to Washington afterward and told reporters she believes this shows the support her message is getting.
Your time is 6:15 here in the WRAL Live Center. We're learning this update within the past 10 or 15 minutes or so. The Pope has canceled audiences because of what the Vatican is saying is a slight illness, specifically a slight flu-like state. Not too long ago, the Pope just took an 11-day trip to Asia in which he was speaking with different people who were there, having audiences while he was there. This is actually the longest and farthest trip he has taken so far. And it appears right now he needs rest as he tries to regain strength. You may recall he's been using a wheelchair for about 2 years and has fought off a series of health problems. He also had his lung removed when he was younger because of a respiratory infection.
A JetBlue flight was forced to land in Kansas because of smoke in the cockpit. Airport officials say the plane was flying from New York to San Diego Saturday night when the pilot alerted passengers to the smoke. Fire crews were dispatched to the airfield and were in place when the plane landed. All 130 passengers and crew were able to deplane safely.
Give you this live look right now. Pinehurst Resort and Country Club this morning. Today, PGA Hope will be holding a training session for local PGA professionals and staff happening this afternoon, 1:15 until 3. PGA Hope stands for Helping Our Patriots Everywhere. It's exactly what they do. It's a rehabilitative golf program for veterans. It helps them work on their physical and mental well-being. Today's training session will focus on being comfortable with the adaptive equipment while instructing the veterans out there. And we continue this live look here. I want to show you because they are staging the carts right there this morning, getting ready for that event as they head out there. Now, we'll be watching what's happening in the tropics as it moves up our way and continues to maybe threaten Raleigh with a little bit of rain here coming up. We're not going to see that just yet this morning, though, Elizabeth. We're still hanging on, even though it's fall, still hanging on to summer.
We are. It's a little warm, a little bit sticky out there this morning. And then, of course, it's going to feel tropical all week. And then maybe a tropical system will affect us by the time we get to Friday into Saturday. This is a system that we started talking about last week. We've been watching for the potential. Still hasn't formed yet. But the hurricane hunters will be flying into that system to see how it's coming along later on today. If we see any impact, it would be Friday into Saturday. And it just depends on which way it heads, of course. We're going to walk through that for you. Before we get there, this is a front that is likely to affect us. It's going to bring us a much better chance for rain tomorrow. We take a look at our rain chances increasing as we see this system, a low pressure system with a warm front and a cold front back to our west start to move up across our area. We'll see a much better chance for rain tomorrow and Wednesday, a little bit of a break on Thursday, and then we'll watch that potential for the Gulf system to develop. Here's a look at today. It's cloudy this morning as you're heading out, but we may see a few breaks in the clouds later this afternoon. Not likely to really see any rain today, but overnight tonight, as that front gets closer, we'll see some showers rolling through. So first thing tomorrow morning, there's 5 a.m. We could see a few scattered showers during the morning commute. Doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot. So hopefully it's not going to be something that causes a lot of problems. But then later in the afternoon and evening, we'll definitely see a much better chance. Tomorrow, we have the chance of an inch of rain. That's pretty significant. And then a half an inch on Wednesday. Thursday, we may be in between systems with a little bit of a break. And then that tropical system could bring us over half an inch of rain on Friday and maybe over half a quarter of an inch on Saturday. Here's where it's likely to develop down here in the Caribbean. And the big question is, where is it headed? There's going to be a low pressure system back to our west. If that low begins to strengthen a bit, it's going to pull that system back to the west around that low. If the high becomes stronger, that high pressure system rotates clockwise and it would pull it closer to us. Right now, it looks like the low will probably pull it west, but it's something that, of course, hasn't even developed yet, so we're going to be watching it carefully. This is Thursday morning, and you can see that rain starting to move into Florida. And then watch how it pulls off to the west there. And the model plots, too, you can watch how it comes right into Florida and then pulls back to the west. So if that's the case, we would be limited in the amount of rain that we would see. It could be maybe an inch instead of something much heavier. So something that we'll be watching very carefully. 81 degrees for today, looking at 79 for tomorrow, and then 80s Wednesday and Thursday. On Friday, if we see some of that tropical moisture, our temperatures should be a little bit cooler in the 70s. It is also the hurricane's home opener on Friday, so I know a lot of folks might like to be out doing some tailgating. We'll see. We'll keep watching it.
Yeah, the home opener, the Bluegrass Festival is in town as well.
Lots of things
happening. All right, Elizabeth. Lots of things happening traffic-wise this morning. We continue to monitor this crash right now on South Saunders Street. This is near Carolina Pines Avenue. This is not far from Lake Wheeler Road, actually. It's not really causing any problems in the area, but of course, if you live in that area, we just wanted you to know about it. When I isolate the Beltline this morning, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the usual spot there around the Wade Avenue split, not causing any major problems for you this morning. Just maybe adding maybe 1 or 2 minutes to your commute time. Just keep that in mind. Elsewhere around the community and Wake County and surrounding areas, all delay free this morning. Of course, you can listen to us on the radio anywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
A UNC student studying abroad in South Africa found dead. How the campus is remembering her as authorities overseas try to learn what happened to her.
Also, we're learning more about the victims of a mass shooting in Alabama. We'll tell you what police are revealing about the shooting that killed 4 and hurt 17.
First, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Some big names are teaming up to save Santa, an upcoming holiday action movie.
Ken Smith here now. What's trending this morning, Ken?
Tis the season already. Lucy Liu, Chris Evans, and Dwayne Johnson starring in a new trailer for The Red One.
We are 24 hours to Christmas.
We need to find him. Let's save Christmas.
Oh boy. The good guys are on a race against time to find Santa, who's been kidnapped just before the big day.
Taser-wielding intruders messing up Christmas again. This is the Christmas holiday action movie. I don't know if it's going to go down in history as one of those all-time Christmas.
Be like a holiday tradition.
Yeah, like right. They like to put on the all-time list.
Right.
I don't know.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Celebrity baby news trending this morning. Olivia Munn and John Mulaney, new parents again. The celebrity couple announcing Sunday that they welcomed baby girl May June on September 14th through a surrogate. The couple also have a 2-year-old son, Malcolm.
And baby comes months after Olivia Munn was diagnosed with breast cancer. She underwent mastectomies and other surgeries last year. So a long, grueling road. And so now they have their little miracle via surrogate.
So happy for them, for sure.
Flattering little Instagram spit up there.
Oh, those little bundles of joy.
Great choice. Didn't have anything else? Ken, thanks. Chicago White Sox have the day off today, and that's good news for the fans because it means the team won't lose today. The White Sox have lost 120 games this season. On Sunday, they fell 4-2 to the San Diego Padres. It ties the modern-day record for losses in a season was set by the New York Mets in 1962. And they still have to play 6 more games this season, mercifully, starting tomorrow night against the LA Dodgers, who are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, bless those fans for hanging in there. The fall TV season starts tonight on NBC. The Voice returns with some new coaches. Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé will be joining Gwen Stefani and the reigning champ, Reba McEntire. The Voice airs right here on WRAL tonight at 8.
Today, plans to build a $1 billion entertainment district around the home of the Hurricanes will move forward the next steps toward making that huge redevelopment project a reality.
And we're waking up to cloud cover this morning and see some of that here over North Hills in Raleigh. We will likely have a little sunshine this afternoon, but we're about to transition into a wetter pattern. I'll show you when coming up.
And 2 shootings in Raleigh have police busy this morning. They happened only a couple of hours apart, just a few miles from each other. We have team coverage on these early morning shootings.